It's hard to find good help.
And good morning. How's everybody doing? It's Monday Morning Golf Rap right here on TGD today.
Dude, that was pathetic.
Hey, isn't that good? That's good stuff.
Your mind was definitely somewhere else.
I'm thinking about
Folks,
rain.
I'm sorry.
I'm thinking about rain, dude.
You know, it's just he's
Another beautiful day in paradise.
He's starting to have gills, and he just forgets when to breathe properly. Oh, Lord.
Wow. We are sitting here again expecting 3 to 4 inches of rain today, but it's always sunny and beautiful. I mean, we had a great weekend.
Oh, you couldn't ask for better weather this weekend.
Was that good?
Yeah. And then to look at these poor guys playing the tour over here in Mississippi, they're just getting pounded. But I mean, this weekend, it was, what, 70 degrees, 72 degrees?
No, actually Saturday, bud, it got up to 84. I was at Surf Club and got up to 84 Saturday. I was sweating. I mean, and it wasn't the heat and the pressure of the tournament either.
That's hard. I mean, I know they said at one point it got to 79, I heard, but I know that, heck, about middle of the day, it was like perfect.
Oh, it was
little breeze. I mean, very comfortable.
Yeah, I got in the truck when I left Saturday afternoon about 4 o'clock. It was 84 degrees. That's what the little.
Yeah, it's because it's been sitting there too. Though.
It was underneath a tree.
It doesn't matter. I know you parked it as far away from anybody as you could.
I did, and it still didn't help. What do people think of when they open up their car doors and just ding the crap out of your?
They don't.
They
don't.
Bethany's got a ding in the side of hers. I mean, she's got a nice vehicle, and I mean this thing. Somebody had to, just pound their car. They had to dent in their door. There's no doubt about it.
You see where I park mine, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah,
when I first started coming up here and parking, and that didn't have a door ding in it anywhere.
Yeah.
3 weeks after I came up here and started parking and where everybody else parks, that thing had like 5 on each side.
It's crazy.
Oh, mine. I mean, Leanne, obviously being in Charleston and had my car, you're just going to get that down there because your parking is limited, period.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do to avoid it, but it blows my mind how people just sling doors open. And granted, I understand there's older folks and there's people that can't, move around very well. But, they go to get it. Well, they're not really driving, so to speak. But, they get out of the car, and they may stumble and things like – but, at least leave a note or something. But no.
Well, what are you going to do if they leave a note? What, are you going to go after them?
Well, their insurance.
Yeah, good luck with that. You know that you and I are the only ones that's got insurance.
Well. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Boo. A lot of doggone golf this weekend, partner.
A lot of good golf.
And we got one of those rare opportunities. We get 2 doggone winners for one event. How about that?
All I got to say is you called it, so hats off to you this morning.
Thank you.
I didn't think you could, but you did.
I thought about it first thing this morning. I said, cha-ching. I got him.
You got me.
And of course, we're talking about Bernhard Langer ends up winning the Charles Schwab Cup.
I tell you what, folks, if you don't think being a veteran and knowing what's important and what's not important, not that you go out there to play and not try to win, but when the game's on the line, that man knows how to flip a switch and just say, okay, this is mine. Goodbye.
Again, Colin Montgomery in the lead. You had Jeff Maggart, who was in second in the points. Both of them, all they had to do basically was get up there at the top of the leaderboard at some point in time during the tournament, and it's theirs to take. Bernhard Langer starting in third place points, he basically had to win. But it worked out because the other 2 finished so far back.
Yeah.
And Bernhard Langer finishes tied for the lead, folks, at 14 under par. He ends up in a playoff, of all things, with Billy Andre. Andre ends up winning the event, of course, with the birdie on the first playoff hole. But then that secures the cup for the 3rd time in a row. History making. 3 Charles Schwab Cups in a row. Buddy.
Yeah, and like I said, hats off to you for picking it, and you were right. The man's he's got a backbone to him and steely way of doing things that just blows your mind. But for Billy to go out and win, we've known each other since college. He went to Wake. Obviously, I didn't. I wasn't that smart, but played a lot of golf together and stuff. And just what a great guy. Lives in Atlanta now. Got his win. and wins the final term of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just that
picks up a nice $400,000 check,
and that'll get him going for next year. So good for him.
Yeah, shoot 64 the final day to get into the playoff, and realistically could have shot 62. You look at his round, the putts that he should have made, he made. There was 2 putts that he could have made, and they just didn't go in. So he ends up with 64. Bernhard Langer shoots 67, 3 under for the day, to shoot 14 under and end up in the playoff. But frankly, again, he had already got the cup.
Yeah.
So I know he would love to have gotten both the win and the cup, but it is what it is. Mm-hmm. You almost wonder if Langer didn't say, okay, Billy, go ahead and pick up your win here. I'm good. Just give me the cup.
Hey, I doubt it was that easy.
I know.
But yeah,
Bernhard doesn't think that way.
Yeah.
So, but congratulations, Bernhard Langer wins the season Charles Schwab Cup. He picks up a sizable check for his efforts. He again, 3rd time in a row to win the Charles Schwab Cup, record-breaking, making history. And Bernhard Langer now is what was that little first playoff hole where he missed an 8-footer for birdie, and then make the comeback par. Of course, Billy makes his birdie putt, but is that the last putt we ever see of Bernhard Langer on the Champions Tour?
It could be. I mean, he says he's not giving that putter up. So if he's not going to be playing. So I think it's just more of an emotional statement when he said that. But no, I don't think it's the last time.
I don't either.
He can't stand it.
And Bernhard Langer is the type that he won't let a anchored club ruling. He'll do something to get his putting stroke in line with a quote-unquote regulation type of stroke, whatever that may be, whether it's form, gripping, or
technically, you look at it, the form thing, he invented it back when when he missed the putt at the Ryder Cup.
At Kiowa.
Yeah,
I agree.
He did that himself without even
Bernhard also is one to say, I'm not letting a little thing like that stop, and I'll show you that I can even implement this new putting stroke and I can still win.
It wouldn't surprise me. Point? Yes, it would not surprise me at all. Not at all.
He's 58 years old. He'll be 59 shortly. And, again, wins this thing 3 times running. 2 years ago, he won everything on the Champions Tour. There wasn't a week that didn't go by that he didn't win.
Yeah.
Now, we even talked about this earlier this year, Hugh. Bernhard had a rough start to the season this year. We didn't know if it was family-related, health-related, whatever. But the first several events on the Champions Tour, he wasn't even in the top 10. He wasn't having good starts. He didn't have good finishes. It just seemed like he wasn't clicking on all cylinders. And then they get halfway through the summer or halfway through their season, and all of a sudden we see Bernhard start inching his way back up in stroke average. And then all of a sudden, poof, he's back up at the top of the leaderboard. And we see the likes of Kenny Perry and others that have been up there, Hal Irwin or whoever it may be, and they start creeping back down. And then Colin Montgomery at the same time was doing his stuff during the summer to propel him up to the top of the leaderboard in the Charles Schwab Cup.
Well, it's like the easiest
kind of a recap of the year, but Bernhard Langer just basically somewhere, somehow, he found it again.
Well, but it's like Daddy used to say, George. You get a good player, you get a great player, and he used to always call him Secretariat. Greatest horse to ever run in the history of horse racing. Always was in the back of the pack and would break track records coming from the back. Secretariat always knew how to find his way and how to work his way up and through there, and that's exactly what you see when you look at this year for Bernhard Langer. He started out slow, and then as he started figuring it out and things getting better for personal life with his daughter and everything going on, and then him getting his golf game back, it was like Secretariat. Once he got to the front, it was Katie bar. The door was over.
Yeah. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to Andre, Billy Andre, of course, Atlanta boy. Hugh and I being from the Atlanta area. Not in Atlanta.
Well, he lives in Atlanta. He's from Rhode Island. But, I mean, just a great guy. And he's he's just one of those people that, folks, if you ever get a chance to meet him at a tournament, if you're at a Champions Tour event, say hello, and I guarantee he'll stop and say hello to you and talk to you. He's
always got a smile on his face. He's having fun, and good for him. I'm glad he picked up the win, just like Duffy Waldorf the week before. You know, it's just good to see him pick up a win, and these guys play good golf. It's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. It's they're executing shots. It's not they're playing on what I call a cheap golf course where it's 5,000 yards long and there's no rough. And I mean these guys on this tour are playing golf courses. They're playing courses that are championship quality.
Sure.
So it's not like that you're just watching a bunch of old hacks out there, like watching me and maybe you and Charlie Moore going out and playing for a $2 Nassau.
Yeah.
No, these guys can play.
This is real golf. This is real golf.
So,
and it's, you look at it and they're playing, anywhere from 68 to 7,000 yards, and there's rough and the greens are quick, and it's golf.
Mm-hmm. So they'll take the holiday season off, and then we'll see the new season for the Champions Tour start back up after the new year. So, again, congratulations to both of those winners on one event.
Yep,
exactly. Kind of unique. So.
And looking at this Sanderson's Farm thing, that's been an absolute fiasco for them this week, just because I figure we jump into that before we get into the other one, just because it's not going to take long.
Yeah.
They've been in a rain delay and darkness delay and everything else for the last couple of days. They are into the third round right now. Patton Gazier finished shooting 66 today. He's at 14 under par, tied with David Toms and Roberto Castro. Castro's one over with 3 holes to play. Finishing up this morning, he is on number 15, is at 14 under par. And then you've got William McGirt. DJ Trahan is 3 under par through 17. He's on his 18th hole. That'll make Mr. Jack Moore happy.
Yeah, it will.
Bryce Mulder, Peter Milati. He's at 13 under. So you've got a big bunched up group here going into the later tee times this morning once they go off, and hopefully they can get this thing finished today.
I was really hoping Bryce I've got a little history with Bryce, and I was really hoping that he could he's not going to just go out there and tear the course up and shoot a course record.
No, he's one of those point A to point B kind of guys.
He is. But I was really hoping, because Thursday's first round and then what part of the second round Friday they got into and were able to complete, if not just finish 6-7 holes, Bryce was actually up at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And I was really hoping that he could keep that energy going. However, when there's continue to be delays, and trust me, folks, these guys are playing ball in hand. So when you get ball in hand, much like the event that was just held in Shenzhen, China, in Shanghai, you put ball in hand, and these guys are going to start shooting some numbers. I don't care how bad the conditions are.
Well, when we're on tour players don't call it lift, clean, and cheat for no reason.
Right.
Because, when you've got ball in hand, if you hit a flyer or you hit a bad shot, it's on you because you can't put it in a better place, as far as that goes. So, this is going to be a shootout. But, you look at Bryce. I know what you're saying, but he's still got 3 holes to go, and he's only 1 shot off the lead.
In his third round.
Yeah, and he's only 1 shot off the lead, and he's still got another round to go. So there is a lot of golf to be played. You look at the 12 unders, George. 12 unders goes all the way to 14th place.
Well, it's going to be interesting because they have to wait for the third round to get completed throughout the field, and then there will be a Monday cut, just simply saying, okay, we'll take the top 70s and ties or whatever they decide to do, and then they'll be sending them out. It was kind of difficult for them to make the cut at second round because there were some guys that just didn't finish second round until they only played for roughly 40 minutes yesterday.
Yeah,
being the third round day. So weather again, who knows? They may have to end up calling it at 54.
Well, no, I put it to we'll have to see with that. But they've already got the tee times up here for the guys that have finished. So
good.
There's not going to be another cut, which is, I guess, the good thing.
Yeah.
Because they've got Patton and David Toms going off at 9:44, and that will be your last group. Well, first in, last out. So, It'll be interesting to see. I mean, there's still a lot of guys on the golf course. There's guys that are out there playing right now in their fourth round.
And that'll be an interesting pairing to kind of watch on what, I assume Golf Channel's got coverage. I don't know. But, Pat Gazire, 6'4", 177 pounds. David Toms, 4'11".
No, David's 5'9". No, give him a break.
That'll be Goliath and David, or
it'll
whatever.
Be the young and the old.
Yeah.
It'll be, I can hit it 9 miles and I can hit it where I want to, and we'll see who outlasts who. But I mean, again, you still got Castro, McGirt, Malnati. You got DJ Trahan, Bryce Mulder, Aaron Badley.
Good to see DJ's back up.
Michael Thompson. Nice to see Michael's name up there. I mean, there's just a lot of good players, and this thing is far, far from over. I mean, and like I said, ball in hand, somebody can get hot in a heartbeat.
Well, let's talk about the other event that was happening on the PGA Tour. Again, another one of those weeks in the wraparound season, and the HSBC had a WGC event in Shanghai, China. Of course, we're talking about the World Golf Championships, HSBC champions at Shenzhen International Golf Course. And that's where all of your quote-unquote marquee names were over the weekend. And we saw a young, or I'm not going to say young, he's actually experienced, Scotsman go out. Mr. Russell Knox ends up picking up his first European Tour win, picks up his first PGA Tour win. He picks up $1.4 million, 550 FedEx Cup points, and does it by getting to 20 under par and holding on for dear life.
Hey.
Bless his heart. I kept telling him I'm watching the final 3 holes. He's playing with DJ. He's also playing with Kevin Kisner. And I'm sitting there, and I'm on this side of the screen. He's on the other side of the screen, and I'm going, breathe.
Yeah.
Just breathe, Take a breath.
Well, look at it this
Bless
way.
his heart.
He withstood the heat in the kitchen, and he won.
He couldn't have passed wind. If he did, he would blown both his legs off.
Yeah. But I tell you what, 20 under par, pretty impressive,
It was. 67, 65, 68, 68. Mm-hmm. That's good play. That's just, I don't care who you are. Kevin Kisner finishes again in second position. This is his 5th second-place finish. And I've heard a lot of media people over today and yesterday, and I absolutely agree with them. I'm not coming up with something new here. It's just he is the best player on the earth right now without a win on either tour.
I agree.
So,
and hey, finishing second, you're the first runner up, whatever. But I tell you what, you keep putting yourself in that position. You let Kevin Kisner
just look at the money he's making, dude.
Yeah, but let him finally break through and win. Now you're starting to talk about a different individual, because all it's going to take is that one win, and it will change him.
I mean, Hugh, I've heard you say this before. How much is he going to change if he actually is able to knock that door in? He's about knocked it off the hinges.
I understand that, but it hasn't come off the hinges, and he hasn't won. If he wins, I'm just telling you, the confidence that he will add to what he has, and it's through the roof. This kid's that talented.
Mm.
And it's all about just getting that first break. All you need is one break to give you that feeling of what it takes to win, and you accomplish that. And once he learns that feeling, it will not stop.
Are we looking at a Kevin Kisner part of the Ryder Cup?
It very well could be possible.
We need to start paying attention to this young man.
If you don't, you're crazy. I mean, you look at where he got beaten playoffs.
Five second-place finishes now just in his short PGA Tour career.
I agree. And like I said, I've known Kevin since he was, 7, 8 years old. I mean, the young man is not scared. It's just a matter of putting it together and getting the break.
Well, he's not flashy. He's kind of quiet on the course. You don't see him joking around with the other players. He's just focused and intent, and he just goes out and gets the job done.
Oh, yeah.
And you take his second-place finishes and the monies that he got for that. I was looking at that this morning, Hugh. He's won a little bit over $5 million in second-place finishes in 5 events.
Yeah. And then you look, but
I mean, he picked up another $850,000 yesterday.
But I mean, look at TPC. Anybody else plays a playoff like Kevin played it, he wins the golf tournament.
They win the tournament.
He
That's
wins.
right. Except for Ricky Fowler.
And he got beat.
Except for Ricky Fowler.
Exactly. And it's just a matter of being in the right place at the right time. But, I mean, he's played very, very well. I mean, look at Dustin Johnson. He's going along great yesterday, hits a perfect golf shot, and hits the pin and goes in the water. I mean, what kind of stuff?
He makes double.
That's just one of those breaks that, unfortunately, folks, that's golf.
And once that happened, I knew he was toast.
Well, yeah. Who wouldn't be?
He ends up shooting 71.
Who wouldn't be?
Who's the name tied with Dustin in 7th place?
Dustin then finished tied for 5th.
No, I'm sorry. Dustin's tied 5th. Who was tied 7th?
Patrick Reed. Jordan Spieth.
No.
Don't even ask me to say Lee's first name.
No. Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
The young man plays some golf. Watch him. I'm telling you. He's going to be the boy.
Okay.
You wait till January 1. He's going to be the boy. I'm going to put him on the Team Honeycutt.
I tell you what I laugh about, though, George, honest to goodness. I laugh, folks, because everybody's talking about how Rory, he's sick, he's had food poisoning, he doesn't want to be
Lost
there.
10 pounds.
He just doesn't like he's interested. Where does he finish? Tied for 11.
Tied for 11. 66.
Shoots Phillips the last day, and nobody says a word.
And let me tell you, folks, this boy, over 4 days, I watched his rounds, a lot of holes that he played. This boy couldn't have made a putt if there had been two 55-gallon drums tied together and they were melted and merged. He could not make a putt from anywhere, but yet he goes out and shoots 68, 72, 68, 66. Not bad, but Jordan Spieth ends up just a little bit above him. Of course, McIlroy finishes, I think, T11. Was that right?
T11.
Yeah, T11, and Jordan finishes T7. And Jordan, as of this afternoon about 4 o'clock, he will be taking back over as world number 1. Did you know that?
It changes.
It's flopping every week.
It's like changing into your pajamas at night. It changes every 3 or 4 hours. So, I mean, you get tired of it. I mean, it's like just wait and see what happens when the major comes around, who's number 1, who's number 2, and then let's go from there and see what happens after that tournament finishes.
Well, of course, Spieth gets to pick the Champions Dinner this year at our first major, of course, the Masters. That was my cue, Jeff. I needed music. All right, Patrick Reed has a good tournament, as Hugh mentioned, 65, 70, 68, 70. Hao Tung Lee, great tournament for him in front of the home crowd. He made a putt for par on 16 that he had short-sighted himself and had made a putt of about 35 foot, and that place went crazy. I mean, and so it was good to see him have a good tournament in front of the home crowd, and without a doubt, he is the best China player there is. So Brandon Grace has a good event, finishes tied for 5th. Danny Willett, another good event for young Mr. Willett. He shoots 65 on day 1, follows up with a 74-70, and then comes in on Sunday with a 62, one of the low rounds for the tournament. So congratulations to Danny Willett, and he was coming up from nowhere pretty quietly. Sergio Garcia ends up tied for 11th, along with Rory. Henrik Stenson, who, Hugh, we still got to figure out what's going on with Henrik. Obviously, he's got a bum knee. You can see it.
Yeah. He's
limping. He doesn't look comfortable in some situations wherever the ball is on an incline or below him or above him or whatever. And you can just tell, I don't know whether he should just go ahead, and I know he wants to finish the race for Dubai. He's only got a couple more events. So I suspect shortly thereafter there's going to be some cleanup surgery going on.
Well, there's got to be something done. I mean, again.
But for him to play as good as he's playing and injured, we don't see the Tiger Woods syndrome here.
As long as they're telling him he can do no more damage to it, then so be it.
Yeah.
Suffer through the pain.
Right.
You know, there's certain things that you're allowed to take that's not against the, you know, the drug rule and whatnot. So, you know, you can take some painkillers to help that, not Advil, but some real stuff to help. But it's maybe that's if it's not going to do any more damage to the knee, it may be just a strain or whatever, then go for it. But, you know, there's a time where you've got to take some time off and heal and you get yourself healthy to where you can go and do what you need to do. And, you know, he's too good a player not to. He's done too many great things worldwide and here on the United States tour to where you need him as a part of this.
Yeah. Well, obvious injury-wise, and he still
hadn't hit
goes
a shank
out.
in a while.
No, he hasn't. That's a good point.
And he was in China, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, good point, instructor. So, you know, for him to finish again T11, he shoots 69, 72, 66, 67. So picks up $106,000 in change for his efforts. He ties with, folks, Tunjai JD. Tunjai just doesn't go anywhere, dude.
It's like it's the same thing. He's top 20 every time. Just boom.
He's an ATM.
Yeah.
He's an ATM. Ricky Fowler, everybody was there. Everybody, oh, Ricky, sign my hat, sign this, Ricky. Oh, 68, 72, 68, 67, tied 17th.
Obviously, Adam Scott had a little trouble with the short putter.
Adam Scott, it wasn't just his putting, dude. It wasn't his putting. That was a pretty piss-poor ball-striking exhibition by Adam Scott. I was taken aback by watching some of his shots and the way he executed some different things. And I don't know. You know, he just had Stevie on the bag. Now he doesn't have Stevie on the bag. I don't.
Security blanket?
Yeah, I want to start calling him Linus. You know?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he needs Daddy Stevie to keep his mind. I thought Adam was mentally much more mature than this. I don't know. I mean, he just recently changed clubs. He's been playing a new ball lately. Again, the putter. He's always been questionable with the putter, no matter if the long one or the short one. It didn't matter. But ball striking, that's never been a question. He's always had one of the better ball striking swings on the tour. But then when I watched him do some things during this event, I was just taken aback. I was surprised. So I don't know. I don't know where we see Adam Scott in 2016. I'm really not sure yet. So I'm going to leave the window open, but the screen is still up.
And the other ATM from South Africa, Brandon Grace, he and Zach have got their stuff together.
What a year he's had.
Yeah. He and his caddy, Zach Rushago, I'm telling you, they have got a combination where this kid is taking every advantage and running with it.
Look at Tide 11 again, Mark Leishman.
Yeah.
Good year for him. I mean, we heard and saw his name in all the majors this year.
Don't you like how Jeffy keeps saying a good year for him, and this is the start of the new year?
No, for the
let's
European tour.
Let's get
for
out
the
of
European tour players, they haven't finished their year yet. Okay.
So is Leishman European or is he?
Let's qualify. Well, he's got European tour status.
Does he?
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Then I stand corrected.
Thank you very much.
I will eat crow and say I'm sorry. I was gonna have some fun, give you some crap.
Boop,
but,
boop,
you
boop.
know.
Watch out, Daddy. She's backing up. Boop, boop. Okay. All right. Anybody else you want to talk about? Cut me. Kara Alfred Bonrot finished 30th.
George can advise you on what really goes good with crow if you do happen to eat some.
Here we go.
Considerable amount of it this past season. Let's forget that.
This past season. Okay, we're still in the current season. We haven't gone to a past season yet. We work off a calendar around here.
Here we go. Yeah. Okay, doke.
All right, ladies are back in action this week, aren't they, Hugh?
I don't know.
You have no clue.
I have no idea.
Okay, glad you helped me with that. If everything works out right, bud, we're going to try to have one of your old friends in with us coming up this week on Roundtable.
Funny how we talked about him on Monday or Thursday. Sorry.
Yeah, last week.
Yep, talked about Mike Small and Mike's in town with Kevin Johnson, and You saw them at the surf club. It's nice that they're here.
Well, actually, they came over to the Performance Center yesterday.
Did they?
Visited with them at the Performance Center.
Okay.
So
well, I hope we get to see him. I hadn't seen Mike in a while, and it'll be fun to catch up. And Lord knows there could be some stories flying. Who knows?
And, of course, we all know Mike, hopefully you do, at least in the golfing world. He is the golf coach at Illinois, and Illinois just won last week the Eastlake Cup. So we hopefully will have Coach Small in studio, and maybe we can even get KJ in here.
That'll
Who knows?
be fun. There'll be some stories
We
told.
get those two, there'll be a lot of stories
There'll be
told.
a lot of stories told.
Yeah,
I promise
I'll
you.
just sit back and take notes.
Oh, if KJ starts talking about some of the hunting trips, it'll get interesting.
All right, buddy. Anything else going on in your world?
No, we're good. Just hoping this weather clears up so we can get to work. It's just nice to be able to start practicing again and not have any pain. Feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Starting to get some strength back, and so things are good.
I want to send a shout out to Mr. Tom Champney, my sponsor at the Surf Club member guest this weekend. Had an absolute ton of fun with Tom.
Well, I've heard the stories. Folks.
Entertainer.
Trust me, this was ones where you'd like to have your little GoPro somewhere so you could film this stuff.
I didn't have one of those selfie sticks. Maybe I should have had one of those. I would have needed it for particular reasons.
Yeah.
So, did I go there?
Yeah,
yes,
you
I went
did.
there.
Yeah, you did.
Tom Champney is one of those people, Hugh, that he's got a heart this big.
Yeah.
He loves everybody. He loves the game of golf. He loves the people in the game of golf, and he just wants to give back to the game as much as he can. And Tom has gone through about a year and a half ago, folks. Tom lost his leg due to an aneurysm, and he now plays on a prosthetic. And I'm telling you what, this guy can still pound the golf ball. And you give him another several months of practicing with the prosthetic and getting back into the swing motion and things of that sort, and Tom can play. There's no doubt about it, and he'll get even better. So, thanks to Tom. Enjoyed meeting Bill from Monroe, North Carolina. Enjoyed playing with Charlie Moore, as I always do, especially when I get a chance to beat him.
Yeah.
So. You don't rarely get the opportunity of beating Mr. Moore.
That's true.
You try to take advantage when you can. So I want to thank Surf Club for hosting us this weekend. And coming up this week, we're taking the Saturday golf group over to our favorite home course, Crow Creek. I'm looking forward to
over to see Bigsy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he let me know quick that we would be cart path only because of the overseed.
Parts overseed, water, whatever. Over at Possum Trot, it's soaking wet.
I can imagine.
It's unbelievable. So,
but we're looking forward to it. So we'll give you a report on that next week. And of course, coming up this week, you've got Roundtable, you've got Tech Talk, we've got Pro Golf Talk Live. So there's a lot of stuff coming further on into this week here from sunny Myrtle Beach, of course.
It will be here.
It will be in just a short while. Yep. TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured course pages where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions, specials, and much more. Hey, need help with your next golfing vacation?
Just call Dave.
You can give us a call right here at the Golf Director at 844-GO-GOLF-1, 844-464-6531. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. To catch up on any show you may have missed, you can click on the radio or the TGD TV tab in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. We're now available on over 1
billion.
Thank you. Devices at iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Periscope, Catch.me, Blueberry, and, of course, the Myrtle Beach Golf app. For Hugh Roy III, I'm George Honeycutt and Jeff Behind the Glass. We want to thank all of you for joining us, and we hope you have a marvelous golfing week.